Hey, Loco sports fans. Welcome to another edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown. Tuesday night, the last day of March, and that means it's happy birthday to Max Araj.
Max
So
Raj, happy birthday,
we
bud.
probably won't see him
Yeah,
tonight.
true.
He might make some kind of little pop in for parting thoughts or something like
I
that.
haven't seen Marcus
Um,
Walsh in a while. I'm not.
He's been a busy man, I
Yeah,
know, running to and fro, a lot going on for all of us. I mean, it's been kind of chaotic to just figure out when we're going to squeeze in a show lately
yep,
because everybody's just busy, busy, busy this time of year, and that's the name of the
yep.
game in this spring season. We had a busy night tonight after a really busy night last night. Mondays are
We-
always really heavy, and God, Tuesday was heavy too, though.
yeah.
I haven't even started tracking down
I
scores
am
night yet.
still looking
How
at
you
Maber. I'm still trying to find Maber boys, Maber Bluffton boys and boys and girls soccer scores. I was playing good night, but I was actually back here producing to the bus, which was another good show. Curry and Bob and Rich, the boys had a lot to talk about, as you would think, with a busy weekend of March Madness, capped off with one of the best shots of all time
Oh my
in the
gosh.
tournament's history, which I'm sure.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Yep.
Um, I I said things, not anything that Dan Hurley's mom didn't say. I don't know if you saw that clip of her saying it was pretty obvious what
Yeah.
she was saying in that moment,
But
and that's how we all felt.
I've been pretty busy, a lot to catch up with about since the last time we went on, including a lot of stuff at USCB. I was Max and I were on the call on Friday and Saturday. Softball getting the series win. Yeah, we were doing that. I've had a little bit of break because they've had a lot of road, or kind of lot of road games coming up. But some good news for the baseball side. Another win today over Savannah State, 10-7. So another game on offense where they put up double-digit runs. So that's a positive sign to see as they get the win over Savannah State here today on the road. A 3-8 game for Cooper McDaniel, who has had himself a great offensive
Nice.
campaign.
Yeah, they're starting to click a little bit offensively lately, it
Yep.
feels like. So hopefully,
Yeah.
sign of things to come. They definitely have played
I
better ball of late than they did early on in the year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean there was a lot of optimism surrounding the offense early on, but now they've really started to see it click. And it's I think really the key was when Nico Barcelo missed time. He was the catalyst of the offense for a good part of the year, and when he went down, they really struggled finding that rhythm. He was a guy that was invigorating the offense early, and now that he's back in and playing like the way that we've seen him play. But I mean, look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, I believe eight eight of the 9 batters got a hit today, for
Oh,
USCB.
nice.
Yeah, so that's
Very
that's a
nice.
that's a great sign to see there for USCB baseball. And it's certainly conference record. You wish it could be better, but right now you are trying to build on just every week from now until the end of the year. And it's exciting to see it. Now it's just a matter of, can you get that consistency with the pitching? We've started to see it. The bullpen's been better, and I think with time, you got a big opportunity to get some wins this weekend. You get Claflin. That's certainly Claflin continuing to be the bottom feeder right now of this conference. So this could be a big weekend for USCB to get some more wins on the board at Claflin. And so if they can take
Yeah.
advantage and build on this, and maybe before in a week, that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, that would be tremendous. Yeah, they just kind of feels like they needed something good to happen, and now they got a little bit of momentum, and hopefully they can ride that for a
Yep,
little while and get this
that's
thing
it.
turned around because there's still a lot
Yeah,
of season in front of them. They can
there
they
is.
can still do some damage. I had a fun night tonight because we didn't have a game for once. We've been playing a lot. We
Yeah.
we got we lose all the time, but we play better sometimes than others. We played pretty well last night against Battery Creek. But no teams on our level can keep a team together. They all keep folding. So
Mm.
we made a big schedule, and we're only getting to play the good teams on it. So it's been interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, but no, we're getting better. But tonight I had practice and then I was free, and both my kids were playing just around the corner from each other. Um,
Mhm.
and I saw on Game Changer Truman was not in the lineup tonight for the May River JV, so I was like, okay, that makes my mind up for me. I'll go to the McCracken softball game, and sure enough, Finley was pitching.
Isn't
So
that cool to see both of them playing
yeah,
this
it was
year?
amazing. So I got to watch her pitch 3 solid innings, get the win on the mound, and got at least 3 hits. I don't know, they were banging them up. And then went over and watched May River JV finish off a win over Bluffton, 7-2. Truman didn't get in this one, but that's okay. But yeah, good day to get to see both my kids doing what they
No
love,
doubt.
and both teams getting the
Dream
dub.
right there. Yep.
Um, but uh, but yeah, lot going on over the last couple
Still
of
trying
days.
to track down some
So
soccer scores from tonight.
yeah, well, I just got a couple of them from a trusty correspondent, Mr. Kurt Jacoby, coming through. I knew I could count on him. May River girls beat Bluffton in penalties,
Ooh,
and May River boys beat Bluffton 2-0.
2-0.
See, 2-0
Yep.
in the Bluffton Derby,
Yep.
the May River Derby, whichever you
Yeah,
want to call it.
impressive season continues for River boys. Certainly without Misa Garcon, who was just such a great coach over there, and now they're still able to pick it up with that Shark program. I'm pretty impressed because you know how good Bluffton is with Coach Fox over there. He's built a good, strong foundation that's continuing to get better. They had a very good year. Got a playoff win over Hilton Head a year ago, but yeah, May River has been, not. I mean, you knew they would be competitive, but I think they've exceeded my expectations for what they've done, and it's good to see that program continue to be stellar, even after losing such a great ambassador and coach in Garzon, who now coach, of course,
Yeah.
over with you guys, Hardyville Hurricanes.
Yep.
But that May
Canes
River,
are rolling.
yep, that May River boys program still legit in terms of
Yeah.
soccer. They're still unbeaten in region play. I believe that
Yeah.
takes them to 6-0
Yep.
in 6-4A play with the win over Bluffton tonight. So they are looking very, very good.
Yeah, they look the
A
part,
couple tight
definitely.
1-0 wins. They've only I think they've only conceded one goal so far. That was against Beaufort. That was at Beaufort. That's the only goal they have allowed so far in region
Yeah,
play, and that's 6 region games. How about the
that's
way that
wild.
defense is playing? Very
Yeah, that's
impressive.
wild. That's wild. We're gonna have to get coach or somebody from that squad on the show one of these nights. If we ever had time to book, yes, we would do that. But we definitely should get somebody from May River Soccer because those guys are rolling. And like you said, it's kind of a important year for them, like a
Yeah.
crossroads year for them. Anytime you have a regime change, so to speak. But I think it was a very smooth transition that he handed it off to somebody on his staff who came through the program, and so I think it's going to be a really good situation there for a
The
long
culture
time
is
because they got
continuing to stay
yeah,
the way it should
culture,
be.
yeah, it carried on, and they got a lot of good players coming through the pipeline for a long time, so they should be really solid. Yeah, May River looking good. Hilton Head girls, I'm sure you see a score on them against Beaufort tonight, or
Um, I
they're
can. I
they're
might.
the
Yeah, I
the
will have to
girls'
check
counterpart
them.
to May River right now.
Yes.
They're kind of running
No,
running the show.
the girls have been they have been soaring this year. The Hilton Head girls have been very, very impressive running through that region. Let me see if I can find a score from theirs tonight. Once my internet continues to load up here, I don't think I see one yet. Or what's the boys? I have not seen a boys score. Let me see if I can find the boys scores. Sometimes have been a little slower to get up there, but they've had a certainly they lost a good amount of some of their important players from a year ago. The boys have, but the girls 8-1, 8-1 your score with Buford
Yeah,
as the
that
Seahawks
sounds
stay
about right.
rolling. They're looking legit this year. I'm quite excited. Definitely want to see them in action. coming up in the future as they get ready for what could be a deep playoff run.
Indeed, indeed. Looking over some scores here from tonight on the Diamonds. We got Buford Academy baseball 10-4 over Cross. Colleton Prep softball 17-0 over Cross.
Ooh.
There's layers. Cross is
Yeah,
pretty good, but
yeah.
Colleton Prep's
I mean,
really
look,
good.
and then one more thing about Hilton Head girls soccer. I mean, obviously, there's the metric doesn't tell everything, but they are number one in terms of foray on the Max Preps computer
Okay,
ranking. So I mean,
that
it
means
shows
something.
they've got a real shot this year to take this thing all the way.
It would
They're
seem
right
like it.
with they're
Yeah,
right up there with Bishop England with Gray Collegiate. Of course, those matches would be very exciting if that's who they see. Daniel is probably the best competition in the upper state. That's who they would most likely face if they get to the state championship. But certainly there is some. I think the biggest competition for them is going to be Bishop England Gray Collegiate when you look at the Hilton Head girls team. But they're looking the part and then some. So I'm quite excited about this Hilton Head team, which it kind of reminds me of those juggernaut teams that they had in the past, many years ago.
yeah. The Ernie Suozzi
Yes.
squads,
Yep.
or even before that, the Larry Tavino led squads
Yes.
back in
Yes.
the day.
Yep.
Both quite good. 18-3. Sorry, I'm looking up scores as we speak here and trying to get everything in order so we can give you a full rundown of what's happening around the Loco. But this is Loco Sports Lowdown, brought to you by Mickelson Law Firm and WHHI TV, our all-star sponsors. Mickelson Law Firm been with us since the beginning. Our all-star sponsor, our presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, and our official real estate closing attorney, but they can help you with all your legal needs. They are right in downtown Bluffton. Mickelson Law Firm, big supporter of Loco Sports, and WHHI TV, our all-star sponsor and our partner in local sports coverage. They do a great job of the live coverage of the games, interviews, all kinds of stuff, and fill in a lot of the cracks that we don't cover. And then we have our little sandbox here where Marcus Walsh often comes and plays with us as well and keeps us abreast of what's happening over at WHHI TV, the only TV station dedicated to covering the Low Country. So check out WHHI TV on YouTube or the Hargray, the Spectrum, wherever you Sparklight, wherever you get your TV, they almost all offer WHHI. So Wes, I was starting to read off some scores from some baseball and softball, both from tonight and from last night, because we last got together on Saturday.
Yeah, I believe Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, I believe it was Friday
God,
because it was
it
before
was
softball.
Friday. It was
It was
definitely
before
Friday.
softball got the USCB had their two games on Saturday. So we didn't talk about
Yeah.
those, but yeah.
So we had, a lot of stuff. USCB baseball ended up losing the final two of that series. Softball, though, split on day two with Flagler, so they took 2 out of 3
Yeah,
in
that
that
was a
one, and
big
I'm
time
sure.
series win for them, and
Yeah,
they needed that.
absolutely.
You know, the offense really came through because you look back at the week before against Georgia College, and they really struggled to get anything going. In fact, they scored just 3 runs in the whole series.
Right.
They scored much more than that over the weekend. Lost 8-2 the first game, and then came back and won 9-6, and lots of encouraging signs. Taylor Chang was the brightest star up there. Had 2 home runs, one in each game, but you saw the depth show up. Emma Reynolds had a couple of big hits. Emma Brinkman as well. It was a full team effort, from top to bottom. And in that last game, every single player in the lineup got at least one hit in that final game that they won 9-6. I guess you could have wished that Murphy was a little bit more dominant in that third game because there have been times where you've seen her. She has been sharp in that first game, but the second game that she has pitched in these series, she is. I mean, and certainly that's normal when you see a
Yeah.
player the second time through. You adjust, you find
Right.
ways to find more production. But she when she's on, she is near untouchable, but just trying to minimize those moments where there were some shaky moments throughout where she couldn't find the strike zone, and that's just you got to be able to have just the composure to hit those corner or hit those
Mhm.
spots when you need to. Madison Murphy is a great pitcher, and she is going to have a terrific rest of the year for USCB. But it was good to see her just recover from a couple of tough spots in that third game, and that's encouraging to just see her bounce back to that degree. But I think this offense is starting to well, certainly we'll see if they can keep it going because they got North Georgia next week, and that is going to be a very difficult test for them. And if you remember correctly, that was a team they lost to in the Peach Belt tournament where they nearly upset them. They lost 1-0. It was a great, well played game a year ago in that Peach Belt.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had a shot to win that one.
They
Left a
did.
couple of runners on. They showed they compete with them this year, and I think that last year, and I think they can as well, especially by the way the offense has been churning and finding ways to get some run production going. So I like the way that USCB softball is trending. Now can they back up what they did and do it on the road? And I'll say if they can get 1 out of 3, I think you got to take that as some momentum building into the rest of the season in terms of conference play, and just maintain have a competitive level in those games. I think will bode well for USCB softball. And a lot of times it comes down to, can you get 2 good quality outings from Murphy, or at least give you one that gives you a great chance to win a ball game. So I think that she's going to give that for this USCB team, and I think the younger players in this offense are starting to find their roles. I mean, when you lose a Jaden Goodwin, well, you didn't really lose a Jaden Goodwin because she's still on the coaching staff. Same with Devin Weller and a lot of
Yeah.
those young ladies, so they still make an
Mhm.
impact just on the coaching side of things, and which is cool. But you're starting to see some of those other players that Emma Brinkman, who's come in. Caitlin Boyd has been around, but she's starting to find a little bit of her excellent thing that we've seen before in her career. But Breezer and Reynolds and some of those other players are starting to find a little bit of a groove, which is exactly what you're hoping to see
Yeah.
with those young ladies on this team. So, and then Catherine Conway with a continued sky high 500 plus batting average, just an astounding year. I'd take a look at see what it is right now from the
You're gonna have
last.
to start the Cathiometer or
Yeah, she's
whatever,
hitting
like
518, and we're about
580.
to be in April, so
How
that's
many PAs?
85 at bats, 44 hits,
Oh,
all singles. So it's the
holy
Luis
hell.
Arias special.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's crazy work. Over 500
right.
with that many at bats is insane. Is she a slapper?
She's a speedster. She
Yeah.
can lay down a bunt to get on.
Yeah. But
She's
she bats right, not left?
Um, this is a player who has been able to get that speed and use it to her advantage. And just no matter what she's been able to do, she's been finding ways to get on base, and that is the encouraging part of it for Catherine Conway. And she's been a staple of the leadoff part of this lineup throughout this year. So it's been fun to see her play. But when she's been on, and you see Saria, Simmons, and Tamaya Whitlock able to use that
Yeah.
speed, it's incredibly effective for that team. So
Yeah, they got a
yeah,
track team. They got a track team
they
out there.
do. They can make it a track meet.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you gotta keep those girls off base because if they get on, you're in big
Yeah,
trouble.
but Taylor Chang, tremendous weekend, 2 home runs in that series. Kind of Chloe Turner kind of carried it in terms of the offense earlier, but Taylor Chang has really started to pick it up. And
Yeah.
I hope if both those players can get hot down the stretch, they could be dangerous.
Yeah, man. All right. So speaking of softball, a quick update first from the weekend about our guy Colton Freeman. We told you Friday
Yeah.
night he was
Yes.
in the quarterfinals at Virginia Beach Nationals. He ended up placing 8th for All America honors. He scored a takedown over. Actually, I have video of it. He scored a takedown over that guy from Connecticut who's an absolute animal. the guy who's this was the only takedown scored against this guy in the whole tournament, and it was from Colton Freeman. So there's Colton's in the background here. The other guy's in the foreground. Colton with good shot, but the guy's able to fight it off. This guy ended up winning it, by the way. National champ again. I think that's 3, but Colton with the takedown there. And you see Coach Blake from Reverence right there coaching in his corner. So that was pretty cool. He got that takedown, and then he ended up losing that match, but he was able to win his next match, which secured him All-America honors. And let's see. I think I got him getting his hand raised here. Oops, too loud. Yeah, I think this is the medal round match, which he wins to secure his All-America status as a top 8 finisher. And yeah, that's it right there. Interestingly, they don't make them wear headgear at these events.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Colton Freeman, All-American, junior All-American, and he'll get another shot at trying to do it again next year as a senior. There's Coach Blake and Coach Stanek giving him the props in the corner. So yeah, there's your update on that. Colton Freeman's a stud. And then that brings us to Monday, when we had a busy night. Of course, baseball and softball kind of takes center stage a little bit on Monday, and we had another round of baseball, region series. Although I guess just one region. Oh no, 2. Never mind. May River 6-3 over Bluffton in game 1, and Hilton Head broke out the bats and beat Colleton County 14-4 to open their series, 3-game series. So they'll play Wednesday and Friday. JP2 11-3 over Lawrence Manning. We were live the other night when Hilton Head Christian had to have a crazy rally to come back and beat Lawrence Manning, but they had beaten them lopsided earlier in the week. HHCA 5-0 over Wilson Hall, and Colleton Prep 18-1 over St. John's Christian. And then tonight, HHCA won again, 11-0 over Wilson Hall. Beaufort Academy 10-4 over Cross Bridges Prep took a doubleheader from Lake Marion, 17-2 and 23-1. And May River took a 4-1 loss to Perry, Ohio, coming in from out of town. So that gives Bobcats 1 loss in the region. Sharks have 2, but they have more wins because they've played more games. But they are in the catbird seat right now. So that means Bishop England and Beaufort are not playing region series this week. That's so weird. Yeah. But May River looking good.
It's very, very interesting. I'm not quite sure. I don't know, just the notion behind it.
Yeah, there's some weird inconsistencies to it.
You would think that you have an even number of teams, so they should all play the same week. I don't.
Right, that's what's throwing me off, but it hasn't happened in a couple of cases. But Micah Morgan with a really good outing last night for the Sharks. He went 6, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Just a yeoman-like effort. Chris Beckman locked down the save, struck out the side in the 7th to lock down the save. Conti had a couple of hits, couple of doubles, and so did Michaud. The catcher had 2 hits, one of them a double, a couple of RBIs. They like him. And Beckman just continues to swing a hot stick. Pretty good outing from Ryan Gohl, but they did get him for 10 hits. He kept it in the zone and gave him a chance, but Sharks just able to find some holes on him. Both teams 1 error, so pretty well played game, and the rest of the series should be solid. It seems like in their previous 2 series, May River lost the first game and then won the last 2.
That's encouraging for May River to get that first one.
Yeah, and that tells me their back end pitching depth starting pitching is a little stronger than some of the other teams in the league. That they got a little more gas in the tank. And
it goes well for them, but I wouldn't count out Bluffton back in the Bobcats. The Bobcat Den, whatever they call their big. That one of the better fields.
Den, I think.
A lot about
it's the Hank Johnston
I like
Stadium.
that atmosphere. It reminds me of a little bit like Grayson Stadium.
Oh, it's great. I was there tonight. Yeah, it's good vibes there.
No, I'm just saying I really enjoy that entire ball field over there at Bluffton. It's a great place to watch a game.
It is. It's
Yep.
cool. The bugs are bad though. The bugs are bad. We'll give you that. So yeah, those series fire back up tomorrow. Also got Lawrence Manning at JP2 tomorrow on the baseball diamond. And then softball wise, we took the L to Battery Creek last night. James Island and Beaufort in a Donnybrook, 20-15. James Island.
Wow.
West Ashley 4-2 over Colleton. Bridges Prep 12-1 over Low Country Leadership. First Baptist 21-11 over HHCA. Colleton Prep 11-0 over St. John's Christian, and Holly Hill 14-4 over Cross. And then tonight, not much softball tonight. Colleton Prep banged up Cross 17-0, and Bridges Prep 18-3 over Lake Marion. Lake Marion's a team I should get scheduled for us next year. I think they'd be a good match for us. Note to self. So yeah, not any real high profile softball matchups the last couple of nights, but I think we got one coming. We got a couple. Hilton Head at JP2 tomorrow night, Beaufort at Bluffton. But I was thinking I thought we had a Colleton County May River showdown coming up. When does that happen? That's got to be coming up soon.
Yes.
Both those teams are on a collision course, both undefeated in region play. Let me pull up one of their schedules and see when that's happening, because I thought it was soon.
Forward to that.
Yeah, it's mañana. I don't have it in the schedule here, but that's happening mañana at Colleton County at May River softball. That is that's a big one. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. at the Shark Tank. So if I didn't have a JV
I'll be at the Bobcat Den tomorrow, or the Bobcat baseball field tomorrow for the game 2 of that series between Bluffton and May River. And I think it always seems like those two teams go down to, for many of those games. There's one game I think could have been last year where I think Bluffton made a comeback effort late and fell short. It was a crazy game. It was at Bluffton, and I'm expecting one of those kinds of games again this year. It's these kids know each other so well. They want to beat them each side. It's just fantastic baseball, fantastic theater. I love it. I love that rivalry, especially for baseball, because both of these teams more years than pretty much every year they're both very good. And Bluffton may be a little bit down this year, may not have the senior veterans like they've had in the past, but those kids are still battling. They want to win that game, and they want to find a way to get back in the series. So it should be very exciting. Looking forward to getting there for what is my favorite time of year is seeing both the May River Bluffton soccer games, which of course looking forward to seeing the if they meet again in the postseason. We'll have to see, and then the baseball series, and that softball game between those two teams was great as well.
The other night they had a wild one, 19-14.
Yes.
Bananas game. That was absolutely crazy.
That was insane.
But they'll meet again, I believe, soon. But some other softball, baseball. There's a lot. There's a lot tomorrow. Actually, I need to put some into the. Perry's going to Hilton Head tomorrow.
Bluffton do meet again. The final game of the season, April the 28th. This will be the second leg of the Bluffton Derby. The boys will play at Bluffton. The girls will play at May River. So they will meet again before the end of the year, April the 28th. So
sounds like both of those games tonight were pretty good. I mean, the girls obviously went to penalties, and the guys was 2-0, which there's a wide range of.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have
ways
two games that were close.
Right.
Two games where
there's a wide range of 2-0 games
where the team that wins puts a ton of shots on goal, and goal makes a couple of beats.
And when did the second one come?
Yeah.
And how many
shots
like
on
goal
did
the other team have after that?
Minutes left. So it's really, you have to kind of be there to know.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can strategically dominate the game and win 2-0.
Or you can score too early and then just park the bus, and then it's
right. Yeah. There's a lot of ways that can go
Yep.
down. It could also be, yeah. There's
Yep.
a whole lot of ways that could go
Yep.
down. But speaking of soccer, I did find quite a few scores from tonight, and we have a few from last night. Girls side, HHCA 2-1 over Northwood Academy. Nice win there. Hilton Head Prep 7-1 over BA. And I got a funny note from Rissa McMillan. She always sends me these great little updates on the team whenever she sends in sometimes she doesn't get to it every game, and that's okay. But she'll say, "Hey, sorry, I've been smashed, but here's the update." But this one was funny. She said, "I didn't make our schedule this season. In past years, I actively sought out the toughest teams to play, but I graduated my lethal force last year, so I thought I would retreat and follow the boys' schedule." And it's a little weaker than she would have liked. She said, "I also did not know how good eighth grader Alice Carmines was going to be. She already has 24 goals this season and 9 assists. An eighth grader, Alice Carmines, if you recognize that name,
Wow.
daughter of Andrew Carmines,
Oh,
who of
okay.
course is the gentleman who runs Hudson's Seafood House on the Docks, one of our sponsors here at Loco Sports and presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. So apparently she is an eighth grade phenom, 24
Mm.
goals and nine
Great, you know.
assists. But they have some tough games coming up. They're 8-1, so 9 games. She's averaging almost a hat trick
Wow.
and an assist per game.
Quite
That's
impressive.
pretty good. Um, they got some tough ones coming up with Coastal Homeschool and HHCA. So should be some better, more challenging matches ahead.
Yes.
Ridgeland girls beat Hardyville last night 3-1. Boys returned the favor, so I'll tell you about that in a minute. JP2 boys, girls still undefeated, 10-0 over First Baptist, and so are the boys. We'll tell you about that in a minute. And then tonight on the girls' side, Hilton Head 8-1 over Buford, as you mentioned. May River beating Bluffton in penalties. Bishop England 13-0 over Colleton County. Patrick Henry 4-1 over Community Bible Church Christian Academy, CBCCA over in Buford. St. Andrews 9-1 over Cross. And then on the boys' side, as I said, Hardyville 6-0 over Ridgeland. They get the bragging rights in Jasper County. JP2 4-1 over First Baptist. Those boys are also still undefeated. JP2 soccer has not lost a match, either team
Wow.
so far this year. That's
That is
pretty impressive.
unreal.
Pretty impressive.
That is unreal.
BA boys 2-1 win over Hilton Head Prep. Really good match there. Ian Leslie's boys taking down
Yes.
what's his name? Lucas. I cannot think of his name. The coach for Hilton Head Prep.
Yes.
Our guy.
Blanket.
Yeah, I'm blanking as well. Yeah, where's Max when we need him? We're blanking on Lucas's last name.
Well,
But
celebrate his
yeah,
birthday. Don't
good
forget
match
him,
over there.
yeah.
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
birthday to Max.
Yeah.
And Patrick Henry 2-1 over Branchville, the boys last night. And then tonight, May River 2-0 over Bluffton. Haven't seen that Hilton Head Buford score or the Bishop England Colleton County, or many more actually. But I do have CBCCA beating Patrick Henry 3-1. That's a nice win for the boys of the tiny CBCCA. And a little lacrosse. Last night we had some lacrosse. May River beat up on James Island, the girls, 19-6. Buford 7-5 over JP2. And then we had a Donnybrook and the boys. Bluffton 6, Buford 5 in overtime.
Oh my.
Really good matchup there. Yeah.
Good defensive, low scoring lacrosse game. That's those are fun.
Yeah, solid. And overtime. I mean,
Yeah,
anytime
overtime
you
as
get
well. That's
into
golden goal.
a
Yeah.
yeah, anytime you get into a golden goal situation, you're having a good
Yeah.
time. That's fun. But May River boys lacrosse looking quite strong this year. And Hilton Head girls also looking good. But May River girls on the come up. They're 8-3 now. They beat Evans tonight, Evans, Georgia, 20-12. They're scoring a lot of goals. 39 in their last 2 games. That's pretty solid. But Hilton Head, they waxed them. So it looks like all right, who's the stars for this team? Yeah, I knew it. Ella Claire Harwell She had 4 goals and 4 assists. She's only a freshman. She's going to be real good. Meredith Kelly and Grayson Hoover each had 5 goals. So yeah, deep dive in May River girls lacrosse in real time. There you go. But yeah, May River girls have really turned a corner in the lacrosse world. There were a couple pretty down years there, but it seems like they've gotten a little influx.
Yeah,
And I
that's right.
think
Yeah,
a lot of that goes to
I think the
that
guys
the
across the
club.
men's or the boys, their continued success a lot to with it. But good to see that girls program. Bluffton had a good run a couple of years ago, but now May River
Yeah.
seems to be the emerging team
Yeah.
over there in terms of
Pendulum
lacrosse.
seems to have swung.
Hilton had a couple of good
Hilton
years
Head
as
girls
well.
are solid though.
Yeah,
Kara
they
Cook
always are.
is,
They always are.
yeah,
They have a great. I believe that their coach is still there, who has been there
yeah.
for a number
Kara
of years.
Cook is
Yeah,
tremendous.
she's excellent. She's been there for a number of years now, and she always has them playing well.
Yeah, yeah. She's phenomenal, and has done it year after year, and
Yep.
just seems to have a really positive culture around the program where girls are not afraid to come
It's
try
a great
it.
team
And
atmosphere over there from what
yeah,
I've seen. I've been there
yeah,
for a lot of their games, and that
seems to
program is
be.
excellent. Yep.
I'm a big fan of Kara Cook and the way she runs things for sure. Um, let's see here. Da, 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 da. What else? What else we got, Wes? You come across
Looking
any
for
big news
um,
in the last few days?
I haven't seen anything.
The only thing I can think of is the wild story from PD Academy,
Oh my goodness.
which is out of our coverage area, but we certainly talk about PD Academy a lot. And they had a baseball game against Lee Academy where I still don't, I'm not going to comment on anybody's
Yeah.
actions really because I don't know what went down. There's a lot
Right.
of different stories going around,
Yep.
but at the end, there's a video of the SRO has a baseball player from Lee Academy restrained and he hits him with his taser and it's wild. So I don't know why I even bring that up except to say that like what are we doing? Like stop
Right.
wilding out
Yeah.
at these kids games. Let the kids play these games. Chill out. Everybody chill out. Just chill
Yeah.
out.
Exactly.
I guess that's all I wanted to say about that. But what do you know? What do you know, Wes? You know anything?
Well, just from the look of things right now, just checking to see if there's anything that I think we covered most of the scores that have gone down in terms of big news.
Feels like it.
I have some other stuff that I saved for final thoughts around.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll get to that here in a minute.
In terms of
I was just seeing if we had any
yeah,
other.
in terms of other big news that I have,
yeah.
Oh yes, we have some golf, USB golf news.
Okay.
Battle at the Lakes, the Sand Shark men were victorious. USCB, the champions of the Battle of at the Lakes tournament at the Miami Lakes Golf
Nice.
Club. Yes,
Got the dub.
Yes, they got the dub. Pulling up the results right now. They got a pretty sizable one, 13-shot win over St. Leo. USCB was first, 22 under. St. Leo was second, 9 under. Palm Beach Atlantic. So these are all Division II teams, and there are a couple of St. Thomas is an NAIA team, I believe. There's there's some old friends from the NAIA teams as well.
Yeah. Well, when you said Miami Lakes, I wondered because that's down there in Sun Conference territory for sure. That's where we always went.
But Dylan Allen also USB, not just the team championship, but the individual championship as well. Dylan Allen, the medalist by a shot, the one-shot victory over Eduardo Matarazzo from Barry, 10 over par, including a 6-under first round to set the pace. Aaron Williams tied for fourth with 6 under. Those two kind of set the tone, and then Octavio Lawrence with a 1 under par finish. So that's 3 guys under par, including the individual champion Dylan Allen. So congratulations to that men's golf program, which continues to excel. Of course, got that first Peach Belt championship in terms of the team variant last year, and now you got a nice win over a couple of solid squads in that. It's always those team championships are rare, so impressive stuff there to bring a trophy back to the Lowco there. So that's I believe that's their last tournament before the Peach Belt Conference Championship in St. Augustine. So coming in on a high as they look to defend their title, and then checking in on the ladies, 13th, the Grand Harbor Classic. Over there, McLean Neal, 50th overall, 229 to lead the way. So, actually, no, Manon Tolatier led the way for 46th overall, 79, 75, 74. So that's where the ladies are going to be as they get ready for their Peach Belt Conference Championships, which will be April 19th. So coming up, the yes, the Peach Belts.
Awesome.
Men's Women's
Very,
Championship. I
very
think
soon.
the guys are looking really good. I'm impressed by that men's team.
Yeah, and also on the that's a very nice win for them. Nice showing for them, and taking the individual title as well. Also on the golf front, we told you the other night that Bryson Nimmer was kind of
Yes.
on the fringe of being in the mix over in Savannah at the club car. He ended up T22. So he had shot I think we were through 2 rounds, right? So then Saturday he shot another good round, 3 under par. But then he shot even par in the final. So had a chance to maybe slip there into the top 10. But came up just a little short, but a good showing nonetheless. Paycheck, and on to the next one for Bryson Nimmer. And we haven't seen much on the high school golf front so far this year, so not sure who's looking good out there. I've seen a few scores here and there, but it's hard to make anything of it. We'll probably have to wait till lower state to really find out who's a contender, and we'll know for sure after that. But golf season here, yep, for sure. One of the many seasons that are upon us. So I suppose we can start to bring this thing in for a landing. Looking at tomorrow, we got all kind of stuff on the schedule: baseball, softball, soccer. Porter Goud at HHCA soccer is interesting. If you're wanting to get out to a game, it looks like there's some interesting matchups tomorrow. I don't even know if all these are on. I don't want to publicize these too much because some of them look weird. But the games of the night, I think, would be that May River at Bluffton baseball game and the Colleton County at May River softball game. Both really worth the price of admission there. But shout out to our sponsors, Hudson Seafood House on the docks. As we mentioned earlier, the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus, and Wes was at the helm tonight for a new episode, and it's going to restream on our Facebook feed after the show tonight. It's going to start at 10:45. So if you missed it, you can watch it again on our Facebook feed, and it's always available on the YouTube channel, Lowco Media YouTube channel. So see what the boys have to say. And next time you're looking for seafood sunsets and cocktails on Hilton Head Island, get over to Hudson's Seafood House on the docks. And if you need a personal injury attorney in Beaufort, we've got one with a rare name, but they provide remarkable service at Twinge and Twombly. So call on Twinge and Twombly for your personal injury needs. HHI Windows and Doors is trying to improve your view of the Lowco, and that's our friend Coach Barron from Hilton Head Prep, who is over there. He's hung up his whistle, and he's focused on a new kind of screens at HHI Windows and Doors. Reverence Wrestling Club's our official wrestling sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, and home club to All-American Colton Freeman after that 8th place finish up in Virginia. Outstanding stuff. Congrats to Blake and all the coaches over at Reverence Wrestling Club. And Jay's Barbershop is the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Great spot to hang out and shoot the breeze over at Jay's Barbershop. Maybe get your ears lowered while you're there. So that's it for our sponsors. And Wes, parting thoughts?
Keeping it with a local connection. How about our boy Carmen Majinski, who is now in the starting rotation, at least for now, with the Pirates, and put together a pretty nice start in his first appearance against the Mets, 4 1/3 and 2 earned runs and 8 strikeouts. He was really strong early until I believe Soto took him deep late in that start. But this is a guy who came in primarily thought he would be used in relief duty, and would be that potential setup guy late in a game. But they've looked at him some more, and now it's good to see him getting some work as a starter and a very effective one in that, at least in that first game. Quite impressed with how he has really melded his career throughout these last couple of years. And yeah, it was Lindor and Soto, the big hitters, the Mets, who finally got on the board in the fifth. But before that, shutout ball through 4 for Karn Majinski against one of the better looking offenses, or at least potentially looking offenses in baseball. So just
Nice.
really cool to see his journey continue. Remember talking to him in 2020 when he got drafted by Pittsburgh, and there was some questions. Was his stuff good enough? And now you're starting to see he's looking like a major league starter, and that's pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff for us around here in the Loco.
Very cool. I'm sure I've talked about it a number of times, but one of the very first stories that I wrote for this for Loco Sports many years ago, back in 2017, and the first one that really got some traction was about Carmen, because I started this thing up and I started kind of taking a survey of what was going on in the sports scene, and I was like, holy cow, there's this kid out of Hilton Head that's gonna get, like, he's draftable. They're saying top 3 rounds, but he's not gonna get drafted because he's gonna sign with Carolina. So
Yeah.
I actually like reached out to him and was able to talk with him and wrote a piece about it. And so yeah, I've always felt kind of tied to Carmen in some way, because like we kind of launched together in that type of way.
Yep.
And it's been awesome to watch him. Definitely some trials and tribulations. I mean,
Yep.
hasn't always been a smooth
There
ride.
was, I believe,
Been
there was a
able
time
to,
where he was sent back down at least at one point
yeah,
in the
last year I
recent
think
past.
they
Yeah.
they sent him down for a little while,
Yep.
which is not uncommon. I
Right.
mean, when you have options left, when you're struggling with something, send him down and let him work it out down there, rather than
Yep.
struggling through it
Yep.
at the big league level. So,
Yep.
but no, he's been really resilient and adaptable, and made himself a valuable commodity. And I would expect that his next contract is going to be a pretty nice one, I would hope. Um, but
Yep.
yeah, cool. Anything
Yeah.
else from you?
I do. I have
Yeah,
one more parting thought. It is crazy. It is coming up in just a few months. The FIFA World Cup
yeah,
is just around the corner, coming up this summer, and we finally know the full groups for because they had the final qualifying matches
right.
to determine the last few teams. Uh, the big shocker is Italy once again has been eliminated. They will not make the World Cup, even the expanded World Cup, where now you have
Really?
48 teams competing. Italy still failing to qualify. A team
Wow.
that in the past has put together,
One,
yeah,
right? Didn't
they
they
won
win a
it.
cup
They won it
like
in
semi
2006.
recently?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
won. They won in '06. So, like over 20 years ago, they won the World Cup, and they've been in it for. I mean, they've been favorites, or at least one of the favorite teams in a
yeah.
couple of tournaments of the World Cup.
That's crazy.
But yes, they lost to Bosnia. So
Wow.
Bosnia will make the World
Me,
Cup, and
Movina.
yeah, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Um, yes, so and just a big shocker to see such a storied country in terms of the FIFA World Cup.
I mean,
Hey,
Italy's a baseball.
the World
Yeah,
Baseball Classic team carried
yeah.
them this year.
Italy's a baseball country. What can you say?
Yes.
It's a baseball country.
But yes, so the U.S. finally knows the other 3 teams in their group: Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. And from her, Turkey is a pretty solid soccer squad. So the U.S. should be tested. this is obviously a big time tournament for them, having it at home, a lot of expectations. Certainly, I believe I think they're playing a friendly tonight. I'll have to check and see how that went. But yeah, pretty shocking to see that U.S. team, or that Italian team,
Yeah. Wow.
failed to
Awesome.
qualify.
Wow.
Let's see. Do we have a friendly results here for the U.S. here? Let's see if I can.
USMNT, USMNT.
Yeah. Let's see. I got something. Okay. No, they lost 2-0 to Portugal. Okay, they lost 2-0 to Portugal. So another tough results. I'm not entirely optimistic about that United States team. Just I have not seen enough from them in their last couple of friendlies, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is coming up very soon, and of course, circling back to March Madness and just the fallout from. Obviously, we talked about a lot about under the bus, but I mean, one of the better. I mean, I think you have to put it up there with Christian Laettner as one of the
It's an
greatest shots
all-timer.
that you will ever see from Braylon Mullins, who one of
Absolute
those guys where
all-timer.
nobody knows who. I mean, UConn's fan, nobody knows who he is. Now everybody knows who he is. That's a lot that happens in March Madness, just because college basketball, it's hard to keep up with everybody in terms of, I mean, unless you're following it closely, so many guys come and go, and it just takes that one. That's why we love March Madness. I mean, it's that legends are born so easily with one big moment, and that's why it has really been such a iconic staple of American professional or American
Yeah.
sports.
It's so amazing.
Yeah,
And
but I mean,
so we had turned away from it because it was getting to be a
yeah,
blowout, and we were rooting against Duke. So we were like, ugh, this is not fun to watch. So we were watching something else, and then we kept checking in on it, and it was like, oh, they're down 7 with 6 minutes left. And then Truman said, they're down 3 with 4 minutes left. And we were like, oh, geez. So we flipped over and saw the rest of it. And it was, of course, incredible. And we all know now how it ended. And here we go. A bunch of angles of it. Caden Boozer did not need to make that pass. Just let him foul you, bro.
I'm
But
gonna
look at
1
that.
second. I found something.
I went bananas
Share
when
about
it went in.
that game. I'm just pulling it up now. Oh, there it is, right there. You saw the iconic game winner by Mullins, but the reaction. Someone shared the Duke radio call on
Oh
social
yes,
media.
it's so funny. It's so funny. He's so deadpan. He's just like, and he hit it.
Yeah, but then what did he say after he
And then
thought?
he says, "Oh, he stormed onto the court. That should be a technical."
Yeah, yeah,
That was wild right
yeah.
there.
But then I
When
saw this
when
right here.
yeah, when he did the little head bump on the official, that was wild. But the official downplayed it. He said it was no big deal. That they just had a moment.
Yeah,
And I guess they have like a history, like they have
yeah,
a rapport.
yeah.
But I love this melt of all the different from the NCAA of all the different
Yes, all the
angles.
angles. Yeah,
So good. It was nuts. And my wife is notorious for when she has a rooting interest. If they get down, she's like, ball game, it's over. And she becomes super pessimistic. And I'm like, no, baby, it's the first half. Like, it's not over.
yeah.
And I
But you
said
had
that
to
in
feel
this
on that.
game,
It was when it was
but
approaching
it
20
fell
points. It
over. Like,
felt,
that's why I even said,
yeah.
let's change the channel.
But
Um,
you kind of had
but
that
then we
feeling that
came back.
UConn had an opportunity if everything clicked. I mean, just
Yeah.
that's Duke for you, because Duke has had those moments where they have turned victory into defeat, and for several different
Yeah.
times.
Snatch defeat from the jaw.
Yeah,
There's the best
yeah,
one right here.
yeah.
You don't even have to be a good lip reader to read a New Jersey woman lips after a shot like that.
Yeah.
It was
But
pretty clear what she had to say. But yeah, good stuff.
and then finally, look at this. I just saw but he was jumping elation towards Achilles celebrating. Oh my.
Oh my gosh, worth it.
It's, yeah.
Worth it. He tore his Achilles celebrating. That's
Oh my.
legendary. Legendary. Good
Crazy.
stuff.
Crazy
Good
stuff
pull
right
there.
there, but sets up for a very fun Final Four. A lot of people are saying, Arizona, Michigan, that's the real national championship. Not so fast. You
Yeah.
cannot count out UConn after a game like that. You cannot
Or
count out.
Illinois, frankly.
Yeah,
Illinois has been
yeah,
really tough in this tournament.
yeah, yeah,
They just bullied Iowa, and Iowa had bullied everybody before them.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Illinois is a tough physical team. That's going to should be two really good semifinal games,
I
I
believe
think.
so.
And of course, Dawn Staley and the
Yep.
Gamecock women
Yes.
back in the Final Four, one of the 4 1 seeds in the Final Four. Last year was the men who did that. This year it's the women.
Yeah.
More rare than you'd expect. It's like a 4% chance of it happening.
Wow.
Um,
Interesting.
Women's tournament was majorly chalky this year, though.
Yes. Yes. Very
All the way.
much.
There was somebody that only missed like 1 pick on there. There's probably a lot of perfect brackets and
No, there aren't. There's no.
none.
Yeah. There was one that fell. I think beginning of the Sweet 16. I think the big upset that knocked a lot of brackets off was Virginia. I think there was like a double-digit seed that
Yeah,
knocked somebody off. That I think
yeah, maybe
nobody.
Georgia.
Some
Georgia
there was 1 or 2 upsets that
wasn't involved.
that
Yeah,
busted a bunch of brackets. I think, but yeah,
gotcha. Yep, especially later in the tournament,
yeah,
those will pop some
yeah,
bubbles. Well, I had a cool moment. Speaking of Carmen Majenski, long before Carmen Majenski, there was Jason Frazier,
mm,
and he didn't make it all the way to the bigs, but Jason Frazier was one of the best around here that anybody had seen around here, and he got drafted out of Hilton Head High back in '92,
yeah,
38th rounder to the Marlins, and he only played parts of 2 seasons with their rookie ball team in '92 and '93, and then injuries derailed his career. But of course, his son CJ Frazier was a star at Bluffton High School, and now coaching over at Windsor Forest. And so, anyway, I got to stand with Jason Frazier tonight and watch a softball game, middle school softball game, and talked with him a good bit, and it was pretty cool. And he's a guy that when I got here in '05, they still talked about Jason Frazier in hushed tones, like, oh man, if you'd seen Jason Frazier.
yeah,
And some people still do. You just got to, it's a little older timers now that are talking about Jason Frazier. It was everybody was still talking about him back then.
yeah,
But that's when somebody was pretty special, when like 15, 20 years down the road, people are still talking about him. And it's been cool to get to know Jason now, because at first he was just this legend, this name that I read in the archives of the paper and
yep,
wrote about in the time capsules and stuff, and getting to know him has been pretty cool, and getting to cover his son and all that. So anyway, cool to hang out with
yeah.
Jason, watch the
Very
game
cool.
tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good stuff.
And then I got to hang out with another buddy and watch the baseball game after that. So
Awesome.
good day. Good day. It's always a good day at the
Yes.
Diamond. But
Love it. Love
all
it.
right, anything else, Wes, for the good of the order?
Happy birthday to our good
Max
friend Max
Araj.
Araj. Hope he's having a good night with celebrating with whoever he's with, and look forward to having him back very soon on the show. But happy
Yeah,
birthday,
man.
Mad Max!
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Mad Max. And don't get fooled tomorrow. There's
No,
going to be a bunch of stupid shenanigans
don't
out
read
there.
anything that you see online.
Don't fall
Yes,
for it.
don't fall.
Although, is April Fool's even relevant anymore now that you can't tell what's real on the internet at all, ever?
You might be
Like,
there's yeah,
like every day is April Fool's on the internet now.
it's lost its feel from when I was a kid. I don't know. Maybe
Lost
that's
its
just me.
luster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sid Finch was legendary, but it's hard to pull off a April Fool's joke when the world is upside down and nothing makes sense anymore. So, but be safe out there on April Fool's. Don't get pranked There's always some mischief maker trying to get you and make you look a fool. So don't fall for it. And with that, thanks to all of our sponsors for supporting Loco Sports and what we do here, keeping you posted on the teams and athletes repping the Lowco and the latest local sports news around the Lowco. Thanks to you for showing up to listen or watch. And that's going to do it for tonight. So for Wes Kerr and Justin Jarrett, well, I'm Justin Jarrett. For Wes Kerr and Max Araj, who's celebrating his birthday, Marcus Walsh, who will be back with us later in the week. I am Justin Jarrett. I'm Ron Burgundy. And we'll see you next time. Until then, go Lowco.